What's good, y'all? Welcome back to 23 Figures with your host, Z, the podcast where we keep it all natural, all real. Let's get to it. Tell me why I just recorded the most fire. And when I say fire, I mean like the joint was really free flowing from the heart and it sounded so good. Why the thing didn't record? Like, you talking about somebody like disgusted with themselves and technology as a whole? Or like, are you serious? But it's cool. It's cool because guess what? We can always have the opportunity to record again, and it's just a chance to make things like better. You feel me? One of the things I wanted to actually start putting in the podcast is called a check me up. Check me up is really just like the moment where you take a pause. As soon as it pops into your head, take the time to really do that wellness check and see how you and your people are living. So a quick little check me up right now with myself. I'm doing good. Like today was a very productive day for myself. I created like a little checklist to really mark off tasks, and I got everything, if not everything, except for like one, maybe two things I'm thinking of inside my head marked off my checklist. But I'm happy that I had the opportunity to do that. Being intentional. Like the reason why I had to pretty much do a checklist is when I realized is when I do a checklist, it pretty much sets my day up so I know exactly what I need to do for myself. Like it makes me be intentional. So those moments where I wake up and I say I'm going to do X, Y, Z, but I don't end up actually getting those things done, it's because 9 times out of 10, like my brain will get sidetracked and I'll end up doing something else. And it's not the fact that it wasn't on my brain to do those things specifically, but it's just my brain tells me that there's other things that could be done in this exact moment. So I felt like I needed to have a checklist, and I noticed in college and, in life in general, when I make a checklist, like I actually have more control over my day because I'm able to be accountable. And it's like, hey, whatever you're doing that's being a busybody, like refer back to your list and actually see what you need to get done. That way it's not only being like an accountability check, me being intentional with my day, but also I have time to really squeeze in, what is it called? Like, I can protect my mental health, you feel me? That is something that is so important right now. And I realize, like, if I have 1,001 thoughts running around in my head, it's kind of hard for me to actually take the time to unwind, because then I question, have I gotten everything done? But with a checklist, it actually helps me get those things done to the point where I feel like, okay, now that you've handled your business, like you deserve a moment of peace and rest. So that's my favorite part about it. I think scheduling time to actually take care of your priorities and your responsibilities, but while also taking care of your health, is very much so needed. Right now, I've just been kind of trying to take it slow. This weekend, I didn't really go out. I really kept it inside because it's just like I've been running around and I've been doing so much for other people that I haven't really taken the time to really just sit back and enjoy my own time being. And I'm so, so happy that I actually took the time to do that this weekend. I think me trying to focus on my own mental health right now is something that's very important to me, including like shadow work. Again, in the last podcast, I spoke a whole lot on shadow work, because it's important to really go back and dig a little deeper into why you operate, how you operate, and what's causing you to move in the ways that you do. And right now, the book I'm reading is called Momentum. And in that book, it actually has various exercises that you can complete. So the one I recently was working on is basically you writing 2 letters, okay? You wrote a letter to your younger self and a letter to your older self. And it was interesting for me to really sit back and see how like how much compassion and love I shown towards those other parts of me. It was like my younger self, I was pretty much giving like the motherly guidance I would give a child, because that is the childlike version of me. I was telling myself things like, the way your character is right now, don't lose that. There's going to be many obstacles and trials and tribulations that you may face that may push you inside your head and tell you to act otherwise. But right now, your personality is so beautiful. You keep that open mindset. You keep that same like uplifting energy. And don't let anybody or anything try to take that from you. Meanwhile, with my older self, I was writing it as far as my older self being my role model, and pretty much letting them know that even though current me is anxious in some ways and nervous, and it feels like I'm stressed, like I'm doing everything possible to become that older version of me that I'm writing the letter to, because I know that I'm destined for greatness. And it was really interesting because at the end of both of those, I still wrote, I love you. Like, just so I can tell myself, like, hey, no matter what's happening, no matter what you have done, what you've been through, or what you're going to experience, like, just know you do love yourself. And it was pretty cool to me, because in those moments, it was like I had a realization that in times I feel like every other version of myself I show so much sympathy, care, and compassion to. But the version of me right now, sometimes it's like, you ever heard that saying, you're your own biggest critic? That is really me. And so when writing those letters, it was just like, how can I show so much love and compassion for young me, and really look up to and hold on a pedestal the older version of myself, yet the present moment now me, it was kind of like, why do you put so much pressure on her? Like, how come you act like you can't show that same kindness towards this version of you? And it was interesting to see, because at that moment, like, something said I have to actually start being kinder. I'm trying to be kinder in my surroundings, my relationships, my everything. Like, rather than just accepting whatever happens around me and what happens to me, it's like, again, being more intentional and actually trying to be more aware, not just letting things happen, but actually deciding to make the choice to let those things happen to me. So this shadow work journey is very cool. Also, shadow work mixed with podcasting has already been an experience, because for one, this is something where I've actually noticed my brain is staying focused. Like, it has my attention. And not even gonna lie to y'all, I'm that person where if I get bored with the task, like, it's okay. Like, I could focus on something for probably, like, I want to say 4 or 5 months, okay? But the second I get bored, it's over. Like, there's no more, oh, this has my attention. Like, if I'm bored and I feel doubtful of it, then I'll switch. But meanwhile, with this podcasting thing, even though this is a new hobby of mine, I'm really seeing how I get excited to actually do it. Like, I may get nervous to record around other people, because, ooh, not y'all listening to me talk. But it's cool to actually sit back and pretty much do these voice diaries and putting it out there, because I know there's somebody out there with the same personality as me that needs to hear these. So I really rock with that, and I felt like I needed to put these out here because it's just a raw, uncut version of me really figuring out, like, life, my own mental state, and everything while I'm in my 20s. I've always been told by older adults, whether that be coworkers, family members, whomever, that it's like, okay, yes, you think you're just figuring it out, but no, your entire life is going to be kind of built around you figuring out what you want to do with yourself. So it's okay that you don't know it all now, because guess what? You'll never know it all. But that's what makes this fun. Like, really trying to figure it out is really the best part of this journey. And I mean, I'm really enjoying it. Hence the name of the podcast, 23 Figures. Is really just me figuring it all out. Okay? Should I change my @name on social media to that, or should I make a separate page? No, but that's gonna be like a little thing that I probably do down the line. But just know, I really do hope this podcast grows, and eventually I can start even groups where we can all sit around and really chat and whatnot about just us right now, because we're not perfect. Nobody's perfect, bro. But we all deserve a little friend or somebody who's probably going through the same struggles as us. I think that's a cool little concept. I'm such a head ass when it comes to friends. Oh my God, I'm a head ass when it comes to life in general. If y'all could actually see how much time I probably spend fantasizing on what life could be like versus what it actually is, it's it's honestly embarrassing. But that's me. Don't care. I really don't care, bro. Because who doesn't like the cute stuff? Ew, stress. It's ghetto. But I think I'm gonna try to cut it here short, and fingers crossed it actually recorded. Yeah, it recorded, so that's cool. I hope y'all having a wonderful night, and y'all be easy, and I will catch y'all in the next video. Or video. Who do I think I am? YouTube? You might make it YouTube, but podcast. All right, you guys, bye.